You are watching On Demand. Please do not try to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
I was expecting you to sashay on there, Judy. I'm disappointed. Welcome to your Thursday Loose Women. She can't for the heels she's in. Keeping you company this lunchtime, it's me, Kay Adams, Judy Love, Carol McGiffin and Nadia Sawala. Coming up, our big debate. Would you be happy for a loved one to be looked after by an unvaccinated care worker? We've got very different views on the panel on that one. After actress Alice Evans broke down on Lorraine this morning when describing the moment her husband told her that he didn't love her anymore. How easy is it to spot the signs that a relationship is over? And at 1 o'clock, in a TV exclusive, Loose Women legend Jane Mcdonald will be back behind the Loose Women desk.
Hello, darling. It's Ed here, Mr. Ed to you. I know you can't remember who I am. It's 4 weeks now, isn't it? Anyway, but at least it's not the other side of the world, though, is it? Anyway, darling, happy Valentine's Day, and I love you lots and lots, okay? And I'll see you soon. Bye, darling. Bye.
For the first time since losing her beloved fiancé, Ed Roth, Jane will be opening up about how her childhood sweetheart passed away while she was by his side. And she'll be reuniting with her old pal Carol there for the first time in 8 years.
Long time.
It is, of course, November the 11th, Remembrance Day, and we were talking about this morning, and I think maybe as we've got older, it feels more and more important to mark it, Carol.
It is really, really important, and it's always in my thoughts, especially today, and it will be on Sunday again. And the tributes that are being paid at the moment are quite... they're really moving, actually, and I find them doubly moving because personally, my grandmother's brother won a Victoria Cross in the First World War, and I've still got the inscription or the announcement of what he did in a frame in my house, and whenever I read it, I'll tell you, it just gets me because it really makes you understand what serious bravery is.
What did he do, Carol?
Well, he went out into no man's land, unarmed, 9 times, and rescued 9 wounded men by himself, without any kind of... I see it makes me go sort of goosebumpy now, just thinking about it, and, you know, not thinking about himself or his own safety 9 times, and it was just the most extraordinary thing. And there's a memorial to him in Durham, because that was where he lived, and I think they put a new one up there, and there it is in 2018. Wow. And when I went up there, I went to the museum there, the War Museum, and saw the actual medal, and it was a real sort of, I don't know, I didn't know him, I never met him, he died when he was 45, but I felt really proud, really proud.
Is that humanising, or is it? I mean, it can be politicised, can't it, Remembrance Day? And to be honest, when I was younger, I maybe got locked in the sort of political discussion around it, but maybe as I have got older, it was very important to my dad, and he used to take us every Easter, actually, to Normandy, you know, France, Belgium, around there, and we saw the war graves, and I can remember standing there as a kid, just not being able to comprehend. But then as you get older, you just hear stories like that, and I know you used to tell me stories about Nanny Thelma as well. Oh, it's just real, and you've got to...
That's what I'm thinking about. So I'm thinking about my granddad, who I was very close to when I was growing up, and his eyes just used to light up talking about his time in the RAF, you know, and he was in the bomber planes, and he was just so proud of what he did. And Nanny Thelma, who you all know, I still miss. We loved so much, and her, you know, when she talked, she was so brave. You know, her brother got horribly injured in the evacuation from Dunkirk. So she lied about her age, and she went in at, I think, 16. Wow. And then she said they knew she was lying. And she went into the RAF and she went into the signals. And then she was very annoying. I got transferred to Bletchley Park, and I liked all the Americans where I was, thank you very much. But you know, what an honour to go to Bletchley Park.
16?
Yeah, well, she was, she, 16, just almost 17. I think you had to be 18 then, but she was just so brave, you know, so brave. And then Mark's grandfather's brother was the youngest commando ever, and he was killed in Dieppe. And so these stories we have to keep alive, you know, because with those, not Gordon. And so, so, sorry.
And it's great that they can have a proper tribute and memorial in Whitehall this year.
Yeah.
Because obviously they couldn't last year and the veterans weren't allowed to go. So it makes it double special, I think, now, this year.
Well, moving on to present day, it marks the first day of the no jab, no job policy for care home workers, which could see up to 57,000 staff lose their jobs, with pleas from care groups to rethink the government rule and extend the deadline for those who haven't been fully vaccinated to April. We're asking, how would you feel about having someone who hasn't been jabbed care for your loved one? Judy, you've worked in the care sector, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. It's, you know what, it's really, really concerning and worrying because people don't realise the relationship that elderly people in care homes build with their carers, and that's the good carers. Sometimes these are the only people that they have communication with. You know, I've worked with elderly people where it's about me being there when they eat. I'm the only person that they see as even family because they don't have anybody else. My concerns is that we're going to lose over 50,000, if not more. I really feel that's a minimum when it comes to the amount that we could lose. And I know, obviously, you know, they say the vaccine protects you and it can protect more people. I just wish there was a way that we could have a bit more of a balance, because it just feels like another argument to cause separation. And the people that need to be looked after and cared for, they're the ones that's going to miss out. And that's what the worry is for me.
But then if you say, well, look, the vaccine is optional, if you want it, have it, if you don't want it, then we are breaking down what we are told is our greatest defence against coronavirus. And it's not an absolute defence, of course it's not. But it's what we are told is our greatest defence. So if you make it optional, I mean, I'm really torn about this because I don't want to coerce anyone to have a vaccine that they're not comfortable with. And I think it's really sad that we should be saying this to people after the 20 months that they've had and the dedication that our care workers have shown. So I think that's horrific. And I would like to think there is some kind of testing mechanism that you could put in place for those who really don't want to be vaccinated. But I have to say, you know, having spent 4 years with my mum or dad having carers coming in every single day all the time, if somebody had come in and said, I'm choosing not to be vaccinated, I would have had a problem with them looking after my mum and dad.
Well, I think a lot of people wouldn't, though.
Well, that's fine, but my choice would be that I would be uncomfortable.
Well, I'm really uncomfortable with the decision to force care home workers to have the jab in order to be able to do their jobs. I find it quite frightening, actually, and I think it's, you know, it's taking away people's freedom of choice to have a medical intervention that a lot of people know and think is not particularly necessary. And
let's be said, 57,000 is a large number if you take it out of the care system, but it's not a large number in terms of the total number of people with it. Most people within the care sector
you can't have the government saying this is going to save lives, because it's not. It actually isn't, because if all these people leave the care sector, it will just be absolute carnage. And I can't believe they're doing it. And I can't believe they're going to do it to NHS workers as well. At the time when they say, you know, in the government, they pretend to care about care homes. And what did they do? They sent all those people out of hospital back into care homes untested and then lied about it. So, you know, don't give me that, oh, you know, all we care about is the people in the care homes, because they're not. What they're doing is they're forcing people to get injected when they don't want it. They think they don't need it. They probably don't need it, actually. And they're going to lose their jobs, Kate. They're losing their jobs that they love doing.
Carol, you and I, everyone knows you and I are on different sides of this argument. You know, all I am saying to you is, if the vaccine is our best protection, not our perfect protection, but if we're being told it's our best protection, and I happen to believe that, then I would want my parents to have the best protection.
But nobody said you can't work in a care home without a flu jab. No one ever said that, right? No one said it.
But why? What are we going to do about the fact that not everybody that doesn't want a vaccine is stupid or a conspiracy theorist or any of that?
No.
Some people are frightened of it. And I think that we've got, again, it's another thing that we get divided and we'll get really angry about. And the thing is, how are we going to deal with that? And I am so, and it was really interesting listening to you talk today and to having worked in a care home.
Yeah.
I've been thinking along the lines, God, how will they be fed? How will they be taken to the toilet? How will they be... And actually, that is such an important thing as well. What about the relationship? What about if your relationship with your carer is your last connection with any kind of relationship?
And people...
I really, really am worried about it because all we've been hearing for months is how understaffed they are. I mean, I was listening on the radio the other day to somebody at the care home and she said it's got to the point now, even with astronomical hourly fees that we pay, we still can't get anyone from the agency because there isn't anyone. So what is actually going to happen when they leave?
There is no perfect solution to this.
There
and that's what
isn't.
we have to understand with everything to do with COVID. There is no perfect solution to it.
I
is it?
wouldn't
And
mind my
agree.
parents being looked after by an unvaccinated person. I am double vaccinated, but if the way it could work for me, say my parents were being looked after and that care is very important to them, I would be OK if they were being tested every day. That could work for me.
There's no solution,
well,
but
could work.
you would
We've
have to
got
have a
find-
formal
We've got to
system.
We've got to meet somewhere in the middle.
But even
rather
the
than...
people who are jabbed can still catch it and still spread it.
But it's a lower-
Everyone
it's a lower viral
knows
load.
that. So, you know...
Well, the medical evidence would
safe
say
is
that they
it?
have a lesser risk. They have a lesser risk of passing on. And also, the fewer people who get ill, the fewer people will end up in hospital, the fewer people that are overstretched NHS will have to deal with. And I'm sure...
What about the stretching at the moment when 60,000 people leave?
Where are those other 60,000
The stories
people
that you hear of people that are in hospital
well, I
at the moment,
wonder-
are in
And
care homes.
some of the
will they
elderly people
leave?
in care homes are some of the most unfortunate ones that are neglected. You know, they've not always got family members to come in and check on them and make sure they're all right.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. We did do a poll on this. Would you be happy for an unvaccinated carer to look after your loved one? 34% said yes, they would, and 66% said no, they wouldn't.
That's why that's many that said they would.
I think I understand what you're saying. As the family member, you should have a choice, and if that was your choice that you wouldn't, then fair enough. But it's just that the choice of carers who are good carers have been taken away.
Absolutely, yeah. Next up, we're going to be giving a reaction to the emotional Alice Evans interview on Lorraine this morning and asking, how do you react when a partner says, I just don't love you anymore? Then at 1 o'clock, reuniting with her old mate McGiff for the first time in 8 years, Jane Mcdonald is live in the studio to swap stories from years gone by. And for the first time, she'll be paying tribute to her late fiancé, Ed. We'll see you after this.
What about your other half,
Yeah,
Nancy? Did you have to take him in hand?
Again. Yes, anyway, getting back to the subject. I can't believe we've just said that. Anyway, yes.
Is he messy?
Yes.
She'd always rather have a cup of tea. Great memories of Jane Mcdonald there with one of her many stories about her late fiancé, Ed, or Ed the Shed, as he was affectionately known. She's going to be talking about losing her beloved fiancé for the first time later on. It's really lovely to have Jane in the studio with us. Competition time first, and lines close tomorrow for a camper van and £30,000. Imagine all the family fun you can have with all of that. Shan Welby is on hand with all the important details.
Autumn isn't just about watching the leaves change colour and cosy nights in. Autumn can be about adventure too. Yet holidays can be had any time, and a camper van is now the must-have all year round travel companion. I'm taking this camper on a road trip around some Dorset locations. Welcome to Mapperton House. Now, this very fine-looking manor house behind me here is home to the Earl and Countess of Sandwich. This Volkswagen Transporter T30, worth over £75,000, is all decked out to help you and your loved ones feel right at home wherever and whenever the road takes you. There's also £30,000. That's totally tax-free. The whole package is worth a whopping £105,000. So get entering for your chance to win big. Lines close tomorrow at 3 p.m. For another chance to win, Text the word prize to 81119. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 781119. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to DY43 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close tomorrow at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Well, the very public breakdown of the marriage of Ewan Grifford and wife Alice Evans continues to rumble on. This morning, Alice gave a very emotional interview on Lorraine in which she talked about the moment that husband Ewan told her that he no longer loved her and her devastation at finding out that he had moved on via Instagram.
I just looked at the picture and it said something like, finally somebody who can make me happy. And I was slayed. Yeah. I was slayed. This is my husband. I'm so sorry. I think I was owed more than Instagram after 20 years of marriage and 2 children, and it was a little bit cowardly. And there are now moments I realise, looking back, oh, God, when that was said, or when I realised that I'm pretty sure that this has been going on for quite a while.
Well, you'd have to have a heart of stone not to be moved by that, wouldn't you? I mean...
Wow.
And I bet for so many people watching that, because most people have had their hearts broken at some point, and there is no pain like it, I don't think. It's just horrific. And my very first love, when I was a teenager, and we were together a couple of years, it was complete agony. When I look back on how I behaved, it was like a madness. Like I left everything exactly how it had been when he left the flat. I had, like, bottles of milk that I just let go rotten. I had about 60 houseplants that I just let die. I put black bin liners up on the window and just lived in darkness.
Did you have a lot of cobwebs and a white wedding dress on? Was your name Miss Havisham?
Well, it was a bit like that. I had a studio flat next to my parents' house and they used to come in. They were so amazing, the way they let me just go into that pain. I remember writing a letter to myself. Oh, I would do anything to have that letter now. And it was just this outpouring of... because I really didn't believe I was going to survive. I didn't believe that I was going to be here.
It hurts, doesn't it, actually?
The pain is so bad. Not in a suicidal way or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But the pain was so bad, I didn't think I was going to survive. You know, that young love.
Yeah.
And I wrote this letter to myself, and it said, if you can ever open this letter and read it and laugh or not even care, then you'll be better. But this day will never come. And you know what? It was quite a few years that I would open it regularly, and the pain was just unbearable.
It's a physical pain.
But it is,
actually, yeah.
But you know what? She has said that there were signs, and actually there were signs too. But I was... And what made me a bit nervous, again, about this story...
But you were a teenager, though.
I was a teenager and that love, but she says that she felt very smug within her relationship, and it made me think today. Because Mark and I have been married for 20 years. And I would say I'm a bit smug about... Well, not smug, but I'm very confident in my relationship. And I think he loves me and I love him and that's the way it's going to be forever. And I'm sure most people that split up think that. So it's just... I might go home and tell him how much I love him.
But if someone says they don't love you, why would you... I don't think I'd worry too much.
What?
Yes, you would.
I wouldn't. Because
if you still love
No, because I think if someone just suddenly said to me, oh, I don't love you anymore, I'd think... All right, I don't love you either.
No, you wouldn't. If Mark said that to you, you'd be devastated.
No, but there's nothing you can do about it, is there? It's not like, oh, you know, I need some time to myself. It's not you, it's me, or, you know, it's none of that. If someone bluntly says, I don't love you anymore, I don't think I'd even ask why. I would just be like,
wow,
OK, right, well, what should we do? Let's move on.
Really? You would switch to pragmatic?
Well, because I don't want to be with someone who doesn't love me.
Yeah, but you would still be hurt.
You know, I know people who can be I'm not saying this to you, but maybe that is your way of protecting yourself. Of like, just, you know what, let's just cut this, because if you was to really open yourself to feel that devastation, you don't know if you could come back from it.
So. Well, if I had absolutely no... I don't know, maybe... like she said, Alice Evans, she kind of... There were sort of times when she looks back and she thinks this has been going on for a while. But you would pick up on them signs, so that's why I'm not sure with her why it's such a shock. Because
she said she was very, very happy.
I
were
actually
happy.
don't rule out the possibility that Ian is having an affair.
I thought you were going to say that Mark is there.
No. He's definitely at it.
Sweating.
What is going on here, Kay?
Okay. No, because...
Hang on. Trainers, Kay, let's go.
This would really be the moment to do that, wouldn't it?
But Ian, hang on. What are you saying? Has he
Because I don't think you can.
Has he suddenly got a fake tan and shaved his legs?
No, he hasn't. You know, I love Ian. We're happy. I hope that he loves me. But I don't think you can ever completely rule it out because I think I'm not accusing anyone of being smug because you've been together a long time. I can't even remember how long we've been together. So I'm not saying it's top of my agenda, but I don't rule it out. The one thing that I thought that when she said she felt it was cowardly of him to put something on Instagram, and I'm not trying to be a judge on that, but is it always going to be messy? After 20 years and 2 kids, is it just always going to be messy?
She announced that he was leaving on Twitter, though, so
That's
6 to 1, half a dozen the other, isn't it?
I personally don't even think that's the way to go, social media. But I think for me, heartbreak, any heartbreak I've had, the heartbreak for me has been the deception and the lies and the fact that I didn't trust myself enough when I had that instinct and my guts was telling me something wasn't right. So the heartbreak for me has always been that I've given someone this precious time, my precious body, my precious energy, when I knew there was something saying to me this person wasn't worthy. If it's a different situation where it's someone who I really love and I felt like everything was great, I'd definitely be heartbroken. But I always believe in going through the pain. So I would, any situation, I've gone through the pain, birthed the pain, gone through it and seen what I've learned through it. And
birthed the pain.
I think what I've learned from my previous experiences is that I need to trust my gut and my instinct. And for me, it's more about not losing the person, it's the deception. Like, if you've done what you've done, I've always say this, anybody out there that wants to date me, I'm telling you right now, come and talk to me. If you see this woman and you think she's nice, you better come and say to me, Jude, I'm going to be real with you. There's an attraction to this other woman. Give me the choice to say...
People don't do that,
give me the choice to say...
Honestly, don't do it.
My gut's always good. I always know, trust me.
But you know what, I think also...
you should be honest with people.
Be honest and give people... You know what it is? Sorry to get in there.
No, go on, John.
What it is, the heartache comes from not having the choice. You broke my heart, but you didn't give me the choice. Say to me that I
Can I be honest with you?
Walk away.
Can I be honest with you? We're only on air for an hour, so we better hurry up.
Oh, no, there's so much more
coming
to
up,
say.
calorific food on sale in November, irresponsible or irresistible. We're going to be tasting some of the options on sale in the high street. And also, we are so looking forward to this, yes. In a few minutes, Jane McDonald joins us live in the studio to share stories of the love of her life, her late fiancé, Ed, and why he was just as much of a loose woman legend as she is. And so we'll be back with Jane after this.
You are the one that leads me, that needs me, that guides me.
Welcome back to your Thursday Loose Women alongside me, Kay Adams. It's Nadia Sawala and Carol McGiffin because we're not allowed more than 4 of us at this desk because of COVID restrictions. So Judy has kindly given up her seat to leave us to a bit of a loose reunion with someone who is more than at home at that end of the panel, the one and only Jane McDonald. From her first appearance on Loose Women in 2004, Jane McDonald was a smash hit with viewers.
Queen of Cabaret, Jane McDonald.
Glamorous, gorgeous and gagging for it. She's the one. It's Jane McDonald.
Her signature wave, witty one-liners.
I like the packet. I like not the packet. I mean, I like
Package. The whole package.
No, I mean the whole. That came out a bit wrong. Sorry, mother.
A no-nonsense take on topics were a firm feature of the show for more than 10 years.
Jane McDonald!
She became great mates with our McGiff and was always game for a laugh. It was a family affair as viewers loved Jane's stories of life with late mum, Queen Jean.
Queen Jean is still in residence.
And her beloved fiancé, childhood sweetheart, musician Eddie Roth. After losing touch, Jane and Ed reconnected after a chance meeting in the ITV studios in 2008. And we followed their loose love story.
Are you married? No, I'm just pretending. It's much more fun. That's the thing. When you're not married, you can still
do it.
Yes. No, Not taco. Oh, no, I couldn't, no.
No, it's too messy.
I'd still rather have a cup of tea.
Is Ed still in the shed?
He is, love,
Is he
yes.
blessed?
He's either in the shed or chained to a radiator.
It's 4 weeks now, isn't it? Anyway, but at least it's not the other side of the world, though, is it? Anyway, darling, happy Valentine's Day, and I love you lots and lots, OK? And I'll see you soon. Bye, darling, bye.
We were devastated earlier this year to learn that Ed had passed away. Now, for the first time, Jane joins us to talk about losing the love of her life, Eddie Roth, as Loose legend Jane Mcdonald returns to Loose Women. Oh, and here she is, the wonder of Wakefield, the Wakey wonder, all-round Loose Women legend, Jane Mcdonald.
Hello,
How are you?
Jane, it's so good to see you back in that seat.
Good to see you too.
We've missed you. I know.
It is.
So sorry.
No. Listen, let me just blabber a bit while you're just containing yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I know this must be enormously difficult for you to see Ed like that. It just must bring such a flood of memories. And people might be thinking, why is poor Jane sitting here? But
yeah,
you want to speak about Ed because he was such a wonderful man.
And I don't want to feel sad for the rest of my life, you know, because that wasn't Ed.
No.
Ed was golden. He was smiley. He was beautiful. And I've got to do the first interview and I couldn't be with better people here. And it's been tough, but there's so many of us out there who have been through this, and my heart goes out to you all because it's been a tough 18 months for so many of us.
I know.
So,
you know, timing and everything,
yeah.
Jane, it was like 2008, I left to have Bonnie, and then that's when you met Ed. So I haven't met Ed, but everyone spoke so warmly.
We all loved him so
Yeah.
much, and he was really a loose woman, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
He used to come to the parties.
He did,
and
yeah.
send messages, and I used to call him Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed, that's where he got the nickname
yeah,
from.
What's the Ed Shed thing?
Ed the Shed is all about, I always thought, and I still think to this day this is true, every man should have either a shed, a golf course or an allotment. Because they need to get...
They need to get rid of them and know where they are.
God love them, yeah.
But we both met our partners at the same time.
Same time.
In 2008, yes. And
Did you?
Yep. And I don't know if you remember, but both Jane and I got engaged on exactly the same day without knowing.
Yeah,
Christmas Eve.
true, yeah.
Yep.
We didn't know either of us.
And we came back into work, right? This is true, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we were like, well, we can't both announce it. It looked like we're doing it on purpose. So, so I went, all right. I said, well, Jane can announce hers first. And you did, right? And I stayed quiet for a day, and then I announced mine the next day.
So it looked like you were copying her then?
Well, yeah, it did actually look like I was copying her.
Green cheese, that's what it is, yeah. But the story of how you guys got together, because, I mean, you had a romance with him in your late teens, early 20s, you lived together for a while, and then you just didn't see each other, you kind of drifted apart. And it was Donna and makeup, wasn't it, that kind of engineered it?
years, wasn't it, they were apart?
Yeah, it was. 27 years apart. I only went out for a loaf of milk. Loaf of milk. Loaf of bread. Loaf of bread. White milk. But I knew that he had to go off and do his rock and roll. He was with Liquid Gold then, and he was just great. And he's just a beautiful, beautiful man. And I actually, part of me thought, I'm never going to keep him. You know, I was a barmaid, and he was this big star. And so I just thought one day, I'll go and let him be a superstar, and he did.
Are you still singing some of his songs in your shows?
No, I can't, not yet.
So how long was the gap then before...
27
then you got
years.
27 years.
And it was 20...
Yeah.
And Donna, our matchmaker, Donna, makeup...
Love Donna.
So tell us what happened.
Well, we did a show on here. Do you remember that? And we were on about famous boyfriends.
Yeah.
And
yes, I do remember that.
She must have gone on for a while.
Ate up all the time.
Yeah. I only had one. No, but I remember the story and the name. Go on.
Yeah, nice. You know, they were like Brad Pitt and Matt Goss and yours, obviously, many.
Yeah,
and,
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, yeah. And then I said, that's nothing, love. I went out with Wally Roth from Liquid Gold. And within a week of that, I didn't know he was in the Searchers at the time.
Yeah.
And I was having dinner with Linda Bellingham in the Ivy. Right. And Frank Allen, who was the guitarist in the Searchers, came over and said, you used to go out with our drummer. And
I said, he said, his name's Ed. I said, oh, he's having you on, love. I've never been out with an Ed in my life. And he says, oh, you'll know him as Wally.
Wally, yeah.
And I thought, blimey. And then within a week of that, they were in this morning, the TM studio. And
I think he engineered that.
do you?
Yeah. I do. I honestly
Yeah.
do. He must have done, because it's, you know, too much of a coincidence, isn't it?
So did you go up and see him there then?
Yeah, I didn't want to go.
Under
Donna.
duress, yeah.
Yeah, because I said, I can't go up there. I said, he probably don't even remember me.
Oh.
Because you do, don't you? You think, well, it's been a long time. You might think, who? You know, so I thought, I don't want that.
He might have said, where's the loaf of bread?
Yeah, that's true. A bit late, that.
And what happened when you first saw him?
Well,
over
Donna dragged me up to see him because I saw him on the monitor and I said to Donna, because I've been on my own a while as well, so I was a bit like, you know, yeah, old maid. And, yeah, Miss Havisham. And so she said, come on, go and say hello to him, because I saw him. I said, I used to go out with him. So she literally dragged me up to the This Morning green room. And I just walked in and he picked me up and swung me around.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that was it.
But how lovely that you had that time with him again.
I know.
Because, you know, knowing him as you did when you were really young and how that sort of, you know, ended, but then to find him again and have, what, 12 years, 13 years again with
years
him.
of absolute bliss.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm getting through it.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking of the last 6 months because it was horrendous. I'm thinking how grateful I've been for such wonderful...
I know.
And how did you come to that? Because that's a big thing, isn't it? That is the way, I suppose,
Yeah.
to survive. To say, I'm going to part the anger and the unfairness and I'm going to think about what's good.
I'm not good at being sad. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at crying, and I'm not... So every day, when I wake up and get that thud, like someone's just hit me, I think, are you going to go down the dark path where you've been for the last year? Or are you going to be grateful for everything you've got in your life and grateful for the time that you had with him and remember him, how I want to remember him?
That's a great way to deal with it, though, isn't it? I think to really, you know, not shy away from the photographs and the memories and the holidays and the things like that, and just live through it again, if you like.
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant.
And even, I mean, not to take you to it, Jane, but I mean, obviously, as you say, it must have been enormously difficult towards the end.
Yeah.
But it was you that was there.
Yeah. And that's one thing I'm grateful for as well. Because it was in lockdown, nobody was allowed to take care of him. So I had to have a crash course in nursing. Ryan, the lovely district nurse, thank you, Ryan, came and showed me how to do everything. Because it was lung cancer, they were so afraid of him getting COVID that I took over everything. And that was a privilege. At first I thought, how on earth am I going to do that? I don't know how to do this. But then you get a strength when you're nursing your loved one. And it really is a privilege. And I learned how to do it. And I changed all the dressings and I cared for him and I nursed him. And I'm glad I did. Glad I did.
And you kept it quiet as well, though, didn't you? You didn't really let anybody else know.
Well, no, because it was my grief, and I don't think people want to see me like that. And Ed was a very private person. You know, he would not have wanted that. But it was so sad that his friends and all his family couldn't come and see him. You know, it's just so sad that happened. So
that's the hardest
but
part.
Once again, so many of us out there have the same, and I'm not on my own.
No. Well, listen, Jane, you're gonna stick with us.
Oh, good.
We're gonna have a wee break though, just so we can all settle a little bit. Listen, thanks very much for speaking so openly, because, as you say, so many people will have gone through their own really difficult experiences, and I think it really does help when you're prepared to share in the way that you have. But as you say, it's not you, and you're going to get back out there and you're going to start touring again, and you've got a show coming up on Channel 5 about your lovely Wakey and Yorkshire and all the rest of it. So we'll talk all about it after this. Welcome back to Loose Women, and she's still here, our loose legend, our favourite lass from Yorkshire. I'm sorry about the accent.
It's really bad.
Yeah, sorry, I'll stop it. Jane McDonald, of course. So, Jane, work's going to be your salvation now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I was supposed to be retiring at the end of the year, but it's been the only thing that I know what to do. It's been my healer, being out with the fans, and I thank them so much for everything that they've done for me. And Wakefield Hospice, obviously, as well. And Pontefract, thank you. But Wakefield was the biggie for me. But just so... That's the only thing I know what to do, you know, and... So I'm going back and doing another travel show. I'm going to the Caribbean. It's terrible, isn't it, that?
Yeah, nice work.
Yeah, so I'm doing that for Channel 5 again, a new travel show. And then I'm doing Yorkshire. I've got my Christmas Arena show, because that's another thing everybody's saying, oh, but it's Christmas, your first one without Ed. And I'm thinking, no, last Christmas was the worst that I could ever have experienced. And now I'm going to have the best Christmas with all my fans.
So where's this in Leeds?
Leeds Arena.
Yeah.
So,
Are you doing the Royal Variety as well?
Yes, I'm doing the Royal Variety.
What's the line-up there?
Well, there's Ed Sheeran and
Look at you.
Look at you.
Yeah, and I'm singing with a lovely girl called Carly Powley, and she's just amazing. So I'm not telling you what we're doing, but it's very, very special. It really is.
I'm just looking at this iPad. As you can imagine, Jane, it is about to blow up with people
I bet it
getting in
is.
touch and just sending you love and support from Jess, from Lindy. So happy to see Jane McDonald on Loose Women, an amazing lady, what she's been through. Johnny, so glad Jane McDonald... Hey, you're getting a bit popular here. This is a bit worrying. Back on the panel today, it's been far too long. You've been missed. Your honesty is refreshing. Liz, feel for Jane. She's so upset remembering Ed, but she composed herself really well. Bless her. I mean, the thing is, you've got so many fans, and you always spoke about your fans, but they've lived your life with you, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, every bit of it. And I've lived theirs.
Yeah.
You know, so I've seen them all get married like well, I didn't get married, but, you know, and come together and have children, and it's lovely. I've got a real special bond with my fans, and I'm grateful to them every single day. They're amazing.
They followed you from the cruise, right?
Years ago,
Yeah.
The other person we have to mention is your friend Sue.
Oh, Sue. Yeah, she's amazing.
Sue Ravey.
Yeah, she's a legend.
She is.
She really is. You know, so she's been my rock.
But she goes on all the cruises with you and everything, doesn't she?
Yeah.
But you're not going back to cruising,
No,
are
I'm
you?
not
You're
cruising
done.
anymore.
You're done with it.
Yeah, I'm just doing really fabulous holidays because I like to see what I can't afford. Does that make, do you know what I mean? I want to go somewhere that I would never be able to afford in my life, and that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Good for you. God.
Is that what they're going to call it? This is the stuff you can't afford.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Really good, wouldn't it?
And what's your Yorkshire show?
That's my love letter.
I know.
It's a love letter to Yorkshire. Because on every single time I'm away, I just mention Yorkshire.
I know you do. And Castleford Market.
Castleford
Market.
You know,
and the butchers with the pork pies.
I know.
Yeah.
Listen, we're going to talk about festive food in a moment. You're going to stick around for that, Jane? I hope so, if you're a bit peckish. But we've got our competition time now.
Welcome back to my camper van adventures. Yes, we have the best prize. It's a pulse-raising double prize package, which involves a camper van and a huge stash of tax-free cash. Yes, you and your loved ones could be touring the country whenever you want in this Volkswagen Transporter T30 camper van. Decked out to help you and your loved ones feel right at home whenever the road takes you. There's also £30,000 in cash waiting for a winner too. Oh, you could really go to town and treat the whole family with that amount of cash, especially with the big C coming up, if you know what I mean. The whole package is worth a whopping £105,000. Lines close tomorrow at 3 p.m, so get entering now. For another chance to win, text the word prize to 81119. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 781119. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to DY43 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close tomorrow at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Now, indulging. These two are gabbing. Can you hear them? They've forgotten they're on the telly.
Changing lunches, nights out.
We're talking about calorific grub at Christmas. I mean, obviously nothing wrong with that, but it does feel like the old festive food offerings are coming earlier and earlier. Yesterday, McDonald's announced the arrival of their festive menu, which includes a festive stack dripping with cheese sauce. And Judy's been out and seen what else there's out there. Judy, I hope that isn't Linda's trolley that you're stolen, because it'll make you swear.
I was going to say, it won't have... It's got Linda's words underneath.
My God.
Today, I feel like I'm on them Saturday night shows. On my trolley here, we have pigs in blanket baguette from the lovely Greg's. Calories are 649. Have a try, girls.
Wow,
what for a
massive.
604. I can't because I don't eat meat. You like meat, Jane?
How's it going? How's it tasting, Nads?
Bit dry.
Oh.
But it's probably all right.
What'd you make of it, Jane?
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Need a bit of sauce on it, do you think?
Yeah, it could do with...
I'd
But
have a
not
bit of
everybody
bacon
likes...
It's amazing 4 women our age and nobody's broken their teeth on that. That's really good.
OK, we've still got other stuff to go through. Let's see.
Something from me, Judy, because I don't eat meat.
You don't eat meat? OK, listen, you got on in front of you a Toffee Nut Latte from Starbucks. We all love a Starbucks. Calories are 379.
Really?
However, it's 10.6 teaspoons of sugar in one.
But it's good.
It is good, isn't it?
It is good, Judy. I like
really
it.
juicy.
No.
Is it better than a cuppa, Jane? What do you think?
Well, sometimes, listen, sometimes when you've been out on, you just need a dirty burger. Or something full of arches.
And a big fat coffee with 15 sugars in it.
Well, that would do.
What we got next, Judy?
We've got next our Christmas pizza from Domino's. Calories are 206 a slice. Slice. So
Do you know what, though? It's really nice.
It is good.
It's 1,206 for a large pizza. Tuck in, girls. We love a pizza because it's got everything on it.
This has got sage and oniony stuffing stuff on it.
Because it's
really
Christmas
nice.
Oh, no.
That's lovely.
Oh, God, it's really good. Hey, you don't know what you're missing.
Ladies, we're going to wash it down with a hazelnut chocolate. From Caf Nero, calories 262, 9 teaspoons of sugar. Oh, gosh, Kate.
Not so keen on that
Too
one.
sweet.
Yeah, they are
one.
sweet. They're very
that one.
sweet.
OK.
What's the last one? Quick, Judy, we're out of time.
Oh, the last one, it's smoked salmon and dill chili.
Oh, I like that.
It's a butty.
382. Can I say that hazelnut chocolate should be filled with me? It's kind of hot chocolate you want to drink.
Look at you. I like that. Listen,
Oh, that's nice.
Was that nice?
Judy, listen, we've got to go. Jane, just a huge, huge thank you to you. It's been such a joy to have you with us.
Thank you for such a lovely tribute. Thank you.
Judy and I are going to be back tomorrow alongside Katie and Penny for some good old Friday fun. We'll see you then. We're going to have lunch.